Alright, we got war number 7 here. We're up against the Matrix. And this is going to be a pretty brief war for me. I just have 3 fights, and then I did end up cleaning up a 4th fight, but that fight was almost down as is. Actually a pretty tricky fight. So, alright, we are going to join up with Human Torch, Apocalypse, of course. Big Daddy Apocalypse. That's our DoorDash being delivered. The dog's barking. And then also White Magneto, because we're going to be placing some guidances in this war. Alright, here we go. So the first fight, I was initially going to use Apocalypse. I've got the Symbiote Supreme here. It's got return policy, and it's heal block, you know, stuff like that. It's nothing really that affects any of the attacks that I'd be using, or really that works very well with Symbiote Supreme. So I was initially going to use Apocalypse here because, you know, it's just an easy fight. But then I was like, you know what? Like, what if I'm overlooking something? I've got a 6-star Human Torch here. Let's just go get a 6-star Human Torch. So the benefit of using Apocalypse in this fight would have been just to get him 1 additional genetic code, because the next fight that I'm taking is a Domino on Spite and Powerful from Afar, and I'm using Apocalypse for that fight. So when I entered that fight, if I already had 1 genetic code, I would end up with 4 genetic code. And as it is now, instead, I'll start that fight with 3 genetic code because I'll be fighting a mutant. And, you know, a lot of times we send Archangel to this fight because, you know, I think that it can get out of hand a little bit if you get unlucky. You know, if she's not throwing her special, if you're not able to land clean parries. But that's why I brought White Magneto here. So I'm placing this guidance, and that's going to allow Apocalypse to nail every single parry passively, and I won't have to deal with Limber or anything like that. So, and the reason, one of the main reasons that I'm using Apocalypse here is, or I guess the reason I assigned Apocalypse to this fight, is first of all, I assigned it to myself, and I feel extremely comfortable with Apocalypse. But the other thing is, the next fight, Node 43, Aspect of Evolution and Kinetic Transference, it's a Nick Fury, and in my opinion, Apocalypse is the best matchup for that fight in the game. And I'll explain why once we get into that fight. But I am going to use an invulnerability boost here, and, you know, just so I don't have to worry. I also did start with, I placed double edge on myself. You guys can see that bleed. And the reason is to kind of give myself an insurance. I knew that I would gain bleed immunity, and now if I do take an SP3 in this fight, my invulnerability boost will protect me from the physical damage, and I won't have to worry about any kind of insane bleed that kills me in the matter of 3 seconds before I would be able to gain bleed immunity with Apocalypse. So I do have the big mutant boost here. And, you know, with a mutant boost, I like to go SP2 because all that damage it's just going to gain a bunch of power back for you with those boosts. So there we go. I mean, ultimately, yeah, I don't want to use the word easy, but it's a very, very safe fight, in my opinion, with Apocalypse, especially with guidance when you're able to land those passive parries. And you just got to be smart and try your hardest not to trigger Spite. Alright, so here we go. The key to this fight with Apocalypse is mutant power back boosts. Because all we're going to do in this fight is we're going to build up to an SP3. Here you guys see I'm going to turtle up after 4 hits on his combo. I do not want him throwing his SP1. kinetic transference, in my opinion, actually hurts Nick Fury as a defender because nobody wants to deal with his SP1. I know that's why he's placed on kinetic transference nodes, but if you just turtle up, then you can easily get him up to 2 bars of power, and his SP2 is incredibly easy to fully dex. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to bait this SP2 out. He is being stingy here. It's kind of, it always freaks me out when he's stingy. Once I realize I'm getting backed into a corner, I'm like, all right, I could get in serious trouble here. Here I have to do a full dex on the wall against his heavy. And at this point, I am just incredibly grateful I used an invulnerability boost because I've taken this fight several times without an invulnerability boost. I have never had that issue where he just refused to throw an SP2. And so yeah, now I know that I've got 3 or 2 more of those SP3s that I can eat. And yeah, pretty easy. All right, so here we're just going to turtle up. We're going to do the old special intercept. It's really just a dash back, and then we're baiting him into a medium attack so we can throw the SP2. And look at that, the power back boosts are doing their work. I ended up losing more health in this fight than normal because I did run recoil. Okay, here is my last fight. I'm going to move up. I'm going to place guidance and flame on here. And I assigned a human torch. I thought that the safest option here would be to just nuke the shit out of this fight with a human torch. And that's what I thought. Well, this is what happened. This is really good placement. I think now, after this war happened, I think that this is the best placement for Mojo on the entire map. His power is just insane to deal with. So you guys can see he's at under 20%. I did not throw on an invulnerability boost here. I don't have my flame on to use because we already used it up. And so all I'm trying to do here is build up my temperature. And look at that. I mean, you know, I don't know. That's a lot of power that he was able to gain against Human Torch without without even 20% health. So anyway, we ended up finishing our battle group with just that one death, and that's on me. I'm going to be assigning magic to that fight from now on. All right, here are the coins. Dilly with the silver, Prin, of course, with the gold, and then Hin. Welcome back, Hin. Hin's been on a little hiatus from the game for a bit, and we are happy to have him back. Welcome back. And then here are the big movers. It's Hin's first war back, and he had a big war. So he's got the crazy percentage increase on his coin value. Anyway, that is it, guys. Leave a like and a comment, and I'll catch you in the next video.